I'm doing this while I walk, and I apologize, but I was trying to not let another day go by without doing a recording. Hello, it's Julia, and I am studying abroad at 56, and I have finally actually started studying. I'm on my gorgeous morning walk near my house in Hertfordshire, surrounded by fields and walking paths. This whole country is walking paths. It's so wonderful. There's a helicopter flying over. I was going through my previous videos, I know that I have not been recording any videos for the last 2 months, except for the 2 quick ones I did while walking at campus. And part of it is like the bigger theme of, and I was talking to Kurt about this last night, about not having a routine, being in a whole new place and just not having a regular routine because you're in a whole new place and a whole new schedule. And even though Harper's going to school and that's kind of a regular schedule, and I'm going to school and that's a regular schedule, but I don't know, there's just something about not being able to have a comfortable routine yet. So, and also we've been home a lot, and I've just felt uncomfortable and self-conscious about recording videos at the house, even if it's just Kurt in another room. I don't know, I know he's not listening, and I can close the door to my little office that I have there. Anyway, I thought, get on it, get talking about being here. So there are a lot of little topics I wanted to talk about in future videos, like driving here, which is not that hard for us. We've done it before for months at a time, and it takes a minute, but anyway, I'll talk more about driving later. But also things like different languages, and I know that, lots of people know the different words. There are lots of different words in England than there are in the US, but I'll talk about some other ones. But mostly, let's talk about school, since that's the whole point of why I'm here, studying abroad at 56. So, I started September 26th, I believe. I go 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and there are about 13 of us in this master's program for film production and screenwriting. And it's a year-long program, and I chose the school specifically for the location first, and then the program. I mean, there are a lot of different reasons why I chose the school. It being small, it being a good master's program, also very near to film studios. I mean, Hertfordshire is really film studio heavy. And so anyway, so it's a lot of different reasons why I chose this program, and I'm a little, I don't know if disappointed is the right word. It's not quite the right word. I was hoping for a more writing heavy program. Okay, the amazing thing about these paths is there's so many people walking their dogs. It's really lovely. And that was my neighbor. Anyway, I was really hoping for it to be a much more writing-heavy program, story-driven writing, character development, that kind of thing. But it's really more of a production-heavy program, film production, like really understanding film production techniques. And while there's absolutely nothing wrong with having an overview of how film gets made and what's important in actual film production, I just, between you and me, didn't really need a hands-on on how you actually make film, like literally how you set up a camera and how you light subjects and what are all the different positions on a film set in terms of camera and gaffers and directors and directors of photography and directors and sound. And so once we've been getting into that, I'm like, yeah, been there, know this. So anyway, I'm a little impatient with that, but it's fine. a little bit impatient with the film production aspects to it. But again, I'm here for the whole experience, and so that's what I chose, so I'm going to do it. The only thing I'm a little extra impatient about is that there are 2 research projects that we have to do. One is a video essay, and one is a written paper. And I'm like, I have to do a bibliography and cite resources, and okay, it's a master's program. But again, I was hoping it would focus more on the writing. So okay, small price to pay. So yeah, gosh, it's so pretty here. Oh my God, it's just so pretty here. So I'm going to turn around, and I can't zoom in, but way in the background down there is a cathedral. Not a cathedral. It's like a, what is it? I guess it is a big church. There's a neighborhood here, historical. No, that is a big church. I don't even know what that is. Okay, sorry. I'm distracted by the gorgeousness of this whole area and all the buildings that you just, like, you drive around a corner and be like, oh, what's that big old house over there? What's that cathedral over there? Anyway, it's amazing. Okay, so now I'm walking through a little bunch of trees. So, yeah, so the classes themselves are what they are, and I'm going to do the work and get through them. And, you know, obviously I have an advantage on some levels in terms of how to work on a set. And so when we have to do little tiny on-set projects with the class as part of our grade. So that's fine. But the group is really fascinating. I thought there would be a lot more British people in the class, but there aren't. There are 13 of us. I believe it's 13, maybe 14 now. I think it's 14. Most of them are production majors. They want to get masters in production. And I think 4 of us are screenwriting master's students. So I'm the only American. There's a woman from Mexico. There's a guy from Brazil. There's a woman who's originally from Portugal, but she's been in England for 10 or 12 years, she said. There are 6 or 7 people from India, mostly guys, and someone from Pakistan. There's a woman from Indonesia, and a guy from South Africa. There are 2 British women, though one of them is originally from South Africa as well. And the 2 British women are about my age, my generation. So it's been fun to actually have that experience. The rest of them are very young. There's one other guy who's British, actually, and he's there to finish up. He only did half the program last year and had to stop for personal reasons and then came back to finish. So he's great because he's also of my generation, which is nice. So the rest of them are mid-20s, and most of them live on campus or live just off campus with roommates. So it's been fun to talk to the young cohort, but also the people from India. It's a whole new accent that I'm not used to, and it takes a minute to get used to that accent just because my ear is not used to hearing it. So that's been interesting too. And also just being with a group of people who are not native English speakers. I find that I do a lot of talking, and so do the 2 other women who are from England. And also we're older women of a certain generation, so we're not shy about just speaking up and answering questions and discussing the topics of the class. So anyway, that's been fun. And then the professor asked for 2 student representatives for the student government, and guess who they first nominated? I didn't move a muscle, I didn't bat an eye, and now I'm one of the reps, so shocking. It's nice to be on campus, but I'm really only concentrated on one little spot on campus for those 2 days. So it's like 2 classroom buildings, and then I'll go over to the next building over for coffee or a snack or lunch. And so start at 10, end at 5 on the 2 days that I'm there, and then usually have lunch with the 2 British women in the class. And yeah, that's how it's going. It's going to go by really fast. I mean, just looking ahead to our assignments and when we have to have, hit the milestones for the projects that we have. It's sort of like, God, this year's going to go by so quickly. So I'm trying not to let it get away from me, and I'm trying to be a good student and, do work ahead of time and, really starting, like making notes on the big project. Because my big project will be to write a screenplay by next July, which doesn't scare me at all because I've written screenplays before. So I'm not saying it'll be good, I'm just saying it'll be done. And they can't fail me for trying, right? So we're going to see how that all goes. It's about 52 degrees right now, which is about 10, 11 Celsius. I'm starting to get better at my metric system. Though I have to say, kilograms to pounds escapes me, as does liters. So anyway, that's it. It's a good experience so far. It's weird, again, not having a routine really in place. We're not tourists, but I don't want to just do nothing every weekend. So now that we've really settled in, the first month honestly that was a lot of work. Just getting into a new place, getting furniture, getting the house organized. And I'll talk more about that, about like exactly what our first week was like. I'll include a video of what the house looked like. It was sort of a bit of a disaster area. But it's getting better. And I'm trying not to think too much about what happens next, because it's too soon to think about what happens next. Like, just be here, live in the moment, please. So I'm going to do that. Live more in the moment. And it's really pretty easy when you look outside and the rain is softly falling down and it's beautiful and quiet and so green. Just so green. I'm really grateful. The house we got was, as I've said before, a very last minute house, but I'm grateful we found it. And I was sitting in the living room yesterday or the day before, over the weekend, and you can look out from a spot on the couch through the living room window out to our driveway and out through a little parkway across a field. And then because we're up on a hill, you can see down to other parts of the area. And it was just like this beautiful little picture that I could look out onto. And I'm really grateful for that. And the last 2 mornings have been really beautiful sunrises, like gorgeous colors. The window that's sort of above my bed, because our bedroom is in the top of the house in an attic that got redone to a bedroom. So there's a slanted window above my bed. And at night, when I'm going to sleep, I always open it and look out the window. And last night, the half moon was out there just hanging low in the sky, and that was lovely. And then in the mornings when it's clear, Jupiter is right outside the window. I can look up from my bed and see Jupiter, and that's just pretty cool. So, there are just tiny little things every day that are lovely. No matter where we end up, no matter where we might have moved, no matter where we went, I would find those things. All right, so I'll sign off with just a quick, again, I can't tell if you can see this because I have a hard time seeing it, but back there, that white thing, that is, and I'm not sure which one it is, it's either the Arsenal practice training ground or it's the Watford Football Club training area. One or both of those. So there you go, there's your little hot tip for right near where I live. So that's it. Have a beautiful day. I'm going to keep walking my walk, literally and figuratively. And I promise to do more of these soon. Have a great day. This is Julia, studying abroad at 56. Bye.